Hi guys, it's Amanda here from Lolli Lulu Crafts, and today we are going to be making a card using all sorts of bits and pieces. And to start with, we're going to be using this gorgeous paper pack from Kaiser Craft, which is so pretty, and it's called Sweet Nothings. And I have got some dies, I've got some paint, some stencils, some trim, so we have all sorts of yumminess coming our way with this card. Hopefully it turns out as yummy as it is in my head. Okay, so to start with, I have taken a piece of basil cardstock and I have cut it to 6x6, so 6x12, and then folded it in half to create a 6x6 card. And I'm going to be making a top folding card as always, so that's pre-done. I've cut a piece of the Sweet Nothings paper already to slightly down from that, about 1/4 of an inch down from the 6x6, so 5 3/4, something like that. I just did it by eye, so it's not precise. And then I'm going to take this other piece of paper from the pack and I'm going to lay that on there so that it fits exactly. So the easiest thing for that is to put it down and then cut it to size, then you have no question of it fitting. So just a quick flick in this pad because it is so pretty. There's so many pretty papers in it. And this one, for example, it's got, I don't know if you can see the sheen on it. It's got lovely, anyway, so it's really pretty pack. Your borders there, some lovely musical paper. Not musical paper, obviously, that would be really clever. And then we get to the back and we've got these little die cuts as well, which is really nice. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is take that second piece of paper and stick it onto the front of our card and then cut that to size. So we're going to just get my Cosmic Shimmer glue here. Now obviously, because this isn't cut to size, we're going to stick it onto the, we're going to stick the glue on the card rather than the other way round. So I'm just going to take this. So that is the front of our card now. It's such a pretty piece of cardstock. Okay, so I was looking at the piece of paper that I had that was the pattern paper, and I did have a little play. And I liked how it looked, but it wasn't what I was after, and I think that what I wanted was something slightly softer, but on this colour background really. I think that wasn't just too contrasting to what I had in mind. So I'm going to take this stencil and I'm just going to pop this in place so that it comes across to our paper here. And I've done it now on the card base, and I've mixed up the white with a small amount of that turquoise and also some water because it was quite thick. So we're gonna just try and take that very lightly now. I'm going to use this sponge and I'm just gonna pop that through the holes that we've got here and just sponge it through just to give a very light effect. And I've got miles too much of this paint, but it just, because I added all the water, it kind of just kept growing on me, but not to worry. So I'm just going to gently lift that up, and I think that's lovely. I like that just very delicate look. And I just want to move that over just a teeny bit because it's just not quite far enough there for me. There we go. Isn't that pretty? And then we've got a tiny bit of the dark there as well, so I might just do that again. Just where it popped through. Yeah, that looks quite nice. And then I'm going to do exactly the same up here, just using the template and my white paint. And I'm just going to hold it down very carefully because I don't want it to start moving around too much. And I can't stick it down because of what's there. And I'm using kind kind of the darker side and the white as well, just to, so it's putting a little bit of the darker paint on there as well, and that looks really nice. Pleased with that. But I do want to just do a little bit more along this edge because it's just not quite enough for my taste. There we go. So I think that looks really, really nice. I'm pleased with that. It's a little bit more delicate. The one that I did my testing on, I wasn't so happy with, but this, well, I didn't dislike it. It just wasn't what I needed for this, and I am going to keep it for some other card. But anyway, so I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to clean up me. See, this is why I don't do messy crafting, because I just get really messy and I'm just like, oh, take it off. Anyway, I'm going to go and clean up and I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, so that's all dry and I'm all clean. There we go. So that's great. I'm pleased about that, thank goodness. And it actually wasn't difficult to get off because it is acrylic paint, so it's nice and water-based, so it's easy to get off. And look, you can see how pretty that looks. Now, I mean, a lot of that's not going to show because it's going to be covered up, but you know, it still will be there. You can kind of see it in the background, so I think it'll be nice. I picked out another couple of pieces of paper here as well, so we're going to be using those to come on the background here, and they do go really nicely. As you can see, that it's got the pink and the blue in there, and then that links that pink with that blue, so if you put the two to pieces, that's going to work really well. So we're going to take this piece here, is going to go up the page here. Now I'm actually not going to be using the rose, and I accidentally ripped it, which is a bit annoying, but it did lead me to a thinking that that would be quite a good look. So I'm going to gently take this edge, and I've got an Anna Griffin rip ruler thing here, which because I'm not very good at ripping otherwise, and then I'm just going to use that just as a base. I mean, it doesn't really matter, and it'll be easier when I go to a wider piece, but at least that's a start. To just before that green, because I don't want that green to show, and I'm going to take advantage of the bump in the ruler there just to hide that even more, so I get just a little bit extra. And then I'm just going to rip, you see what I mean? For this I need to rip the other way, because otherwise I'm not going to get the white edge that I want. So I want the white edges on the piece that's staying on my card. So I've got that piece, and I think that looks cool. And then I'm going to take, that's going to go downwards. So this piece I want to go across, but I want to try and get some of the pink and the blue, so I'm going to rip down this edge here so that that will then join those two colours together. And it's hard, I think, for you guys to see that colourway so good. Now it's going to go sideways, this piece, so the shell piece is going to go across. So I want it to be, I want to rip this way. No, I don't. I know what I'm doing wrong. So I'm going to leave this edge here straight because I've got this lovely little border that came in the pack, and I think that will look really nice along that edge, and it just gives a different contrast again, just making, you know, it rough one side and then the other side with that scalloped edge. So I think that looks really nice. So we need to pop these pieces together now, because all my ribbons and things, I'm not going to be tucking the ends in. I'm going to be really sort of trying to go for that more rough sort of look that's not natural to me, but we're trying it. But before we do that, I do want to cut out this die. Now again, I'm not sure if that's going to work. The plan is, and I think it might be too big to be honest, but we'll see, is that it's going to sit behind this like that. But as you can see, it's poking out there, but I don't think that matters because I think I can chop that piece off, so I'm not too worried about that. So I'm just not sure if it will work, whether it'll look right, but I'm going to cut it out, and if it doesn't look right, then we'll use it for another card. I've already got that piece that I painted up already, so I've got that colourways already done, so I can take advantage. Now I just want to find a nice piece of paper that will work for that. Okay, so I think I'm going to use this piece, which I know seems a bit crazy because it is a really nice border section, but I'm just thinking that it would look really nice, and actually I may even cut out this border here just to use underneath my scalloped border as well. So I'm going to take advantage of that corner and then use that scallop there. So I think that will make a really nice look. So the first thing I'm going to do is probably just check, yeah, that fits in there fine. So I'm going to cut across here and cut my scallop out that I need, so that I don't accidentally cut the wrong thing with my machine. So I want this scallop here, so let's just come along like so. So that's my piece to cut out on my die cutter. Now I'm not going to bother making it scallopy, I'm just going to cut along because I don't think it needs it. There we go. So then I've got this bit to cut my die out on. So let's get my scissors, and I'm going to use my magnetic board because that will hold it in place. So one magnetic board down, one plate, and then my paper, and then get my die out. Now this die is from Diversions, and it is actually in my store, so if you like it, pop along. I will put the link to it in the description box. So I'm just looking here where I want to put the happy part. So I want the birthday along the top there, so where it's got the most gold, so I think that's going to work great. So I've just lined that up so that the gold is really being taken by the die, and then I'm just going to take my other plate, put that on top, and then wind that through. And this is the beauty of the magnetic plate, is that you really don't have to worry because it just holds everything in place. And that's cut through perfectly. These are really beautiful dies. And look how amazingly gorgeous that has cut through. Doesn't that look stunning? Together, but you can see how beautiful that looks. That's cut out absolutely perfect. One pass done. So I'm just going to go on the back of the there, and then I'm going to put tiny little bits just on the letters. There we go. So then take the happy birthday, and I want the top of the birthday and the side of the happy to stick to the side of the card so it lines up perfectly in that corner. There we go. Okay, so I pulled it off that because it just wasn't contrasting enough, and I popped it onto the white background. Now I am going to cut around this just in the corners and the sides here. Just basically put the white behind the letters just to make them pop out just a little bit, because I think they were just getting a bit lost on our background. And if you can see now, they stand out just a little bit more, and I think it'll make it a bit easier to glue on our painty paper. So then we take that, pop that straight into our corner here. Making sure it's square. There we go. So that's that corner popped in. So then we need to start putting these bits down because the other part goes on over the top. So this bit's next, and I want to use my Cosmic Shimmer again. We're going to be putting stuff on this, so we don't need height because we're going to get height through our ribbons and things. So I don't think we really need to lift this up anymore. gold piece. And I think on this gold, I think that will go flat as well. So that's going to go along that edge, like so. And then our scalloped piece, which I'm going to do that way up. So we're just going to, again, just using our Cosmic Shimmer. I'm just going to pop that in there, like so. I think that looks really nice. And then to finish off that bit, I just wanted to see what that looked like, the ripped edge up there. And I think I'll leave it, because I was just thinking that it might be better if this was a longer piece. I think I took too much off and it sat flat along that bottom piece there. And I've got some more of this, I think, somewhere. There it is. So just going to take that, rip along this edge here, like so, and then I want that piece to sit down on there, so we need that to be ripped at that point. So then we're just going to stick that piece down on there, and it's going to be straight at the bottom, which looks good, and then they'll rippy around the edges here. And I think for this piece I'm going to use some of my glue gel, because we've got some bumpy bits here, and I just think that will just raise that past those little bits where it's got the different layers of the card, because it's like layer there, it's quite thick and relatively for paper. So I think it'll give it some dimension. Literally just a wee bit of dimension though, nothing too much. There we go. So it looks more than it is, because by the time you give a bit of a shove, and I think that just looks nice. It's just giving it, just a smidgen of dimension. I just remembered my lovely little doilies. I need to pop that down underneath here. I need that down under this piece here. So just peel that off, take my doily. Now this is probably one of the few occasions that I don't end up putting glue all around the edges, because you just can't stick a doily down. Plus I don't think it actually looks right when you stick all the edges down, but you know how obsessive I am about making sure everything's stuck down. But anyway, so I'm going to pop that down kind of like that. I think that looks good. And then put this piece of paper back, and we're just going to roll it the other way because we kind of made it curve. So then we're going to put that on top like that. There you go. That looked good. That looks so pretty. Okay, so I still did it wrong, and also I just realised that I had two little doilies. So I'm just going to stick the second one down, because I think it looks quite sweet having the second one there anyway. But I wanted to have a piece of this gauze underneath, so I'm just going to get that. I've taken my little piece of paper off again, and the glue gel stay wet for a little bit, so if I'm reasonably fast I should be okay, and I'll be able to just add a little bit. But I've got this gorgeous lovely gauze, so I want to just take a piece of that. So I want to put that kind of here. So I need just a tiny bit of my glue gel just down this end as well. So then I can stick that just like so. There we go. So that's stuck down there. And then the other thing I've got is this lovely piece of ribbon here, which is really nice as well. But again, it's just, I think I could, yeah, that would work, because what I can do is I will cut it in half, and then that piece can go there. So let's just cut that a little bit shorter. Yeah, I think that looks good. I just want to cut that end a bit more roughly. That's it. It was just a little bit neat. I like that. So again, I'm just going to put the tiniest bit, because we don't need a lot. She says blobbing it everywhere, but just a small amount of the glue gel across. And I'm just going to move my gauze so that it shows, and then we're going to pop that piece of ribbon just across the there. And I think that looks really nice. That kind of is in keeping. Let me bring that up so you can see. Isn't that pretty? Okay, and I'm just looking. I've got some gorgeous trim from Hero Arts, some lovely lace trim, and I was just looking to see if that would then just, I want that piece in the middle because it's slightly thinner, it would just finish that off across there, which it does. I like that. I have a piece of glue just there, so I'll just cut past that piece of glue, and then that will stick just in the middle there, and I think that looks really nice. I'm pleased with that, how that looks. And the glue gel will dry completely clear, and once it's dry, if there's so like where there might be a little bit scratching through the holes of the trim, it will dry completely clear. It will be not even be able to see, and it won't obviously be sticky anymore. So there we go, that's that. And then I think that's everything on the front here. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit more glue gel now to this, because I obviously let it sit for a while, so I just want to be sure that it's going to stick. And then I'm going to add this to the front, like so. Now obviously with that kind of leaking through the doily there, we're going to need to put something there, but I was planning on putting something there anyway, and actually I was going to be putting some flowers and things, but I've just got these lovely buttons, and I was just having a look at this gorgeous buttons from Prima, I think. Yeah, Prima buttons. I just thought that might be quite nice. I like this one. I might like that with my flowers and things, so I'm going to keep that to one side. So what I want to do here is just put a nice selection of flowers and also some of these hat pins. And I've got this ouch, watch your fingers if you have them in a jar. I've got this gorgeous pearl which matches in lovely, and I think I've also got it in the peachy tones, which would be really nice. It's sharp though. So there we go. So that would be really in keeping, those two. So I think we'll use those, and then I'm going to just pick out some flowers and use those on there. So what have we got now? That one looks very nice colour tones. It's got the blue and the pink in it, so I like that. I like that one possibly. So have a look. I think that would look nice if it was sort of reasonably underneath. I'm thinking my button would look nice down here, and it will cover up a bit of the glue, and then we're going to use the pins maybe, I don't know, we'll work that out. Let's do the flowers first. So I know I want the flowers there, so let's get my glue gel and pop those down. So I'm just going to pop that to one side a minute, and I've got another piece of paper here from the book, and it's got this gorgeous birdcage on it and this lovely flower at the bottom, and I'm just going to try and rip kind of down and around, which will be an interesting concept, but we will give it a go. Okay, so I've played around just ripping that apart, because what I want to do is put something down this centre section here, because otherwise it's just a bit bare, and I just thought the birdcage is so pretty, and it's got that gorgeous flower, and actually if we line up the bottom of the paper with the bottom of the card here, it actually fits really nicely. It just pops up above our top of our peachy coloured paper there, and I think that works really well. So finally got that sorted. So I'm just going to use my Cosmic Shimmer to stick that down because I don't need any height on it. So I'm just going to take that. So otherwise it just looks a bit ordinary there. And obviously make sure we slide it under the flowers. Probably would have been helpful to do it before I did the flowers, but I just didn't remember. Okay, so we just pop that down like that. I think that looks nice. Really pretty. Such a lovely set. I think it's almost impossible to do anything wrong with it. And then I've got my little stick pins and my button. I keep thinking that the stick pins would be nice just in here because we've got glue gel in there, hopefully. I think that looks really nice. And then I'm going to put a bob of the glue gel in the back of this button. Now you need a reasonable amount because it's got a hollow back and I want it to stick up. So then I'm just going to put that like so. There we go. Let me just show you that a bit closer. See how pretty that looks? And then the next thing that I want to do is just create some space. I'm working so messy today. The next thing I want to do is just add some crystals into the centre of that flower. And actually just before I do that, I'm going to I keep forgetting things, I keep doing things out of order. I want to cut a few of these on my die cutting machine, on my Sizzix, because I think they would look nice just coming behind from our flowers, just giving it a little something. So I'm going to cut a few of these. So I'm just going to pop these down, and I've got my magnetic mat, then my plate, and then my paper, and then I'm just putting my dies on here as well. I'm trying to get this sort of darker dotty sections so that I cut through on that bit, and then just wind that through. And that was, what was it called? It was called Foliage 2 from Spellbinders, really nice. Ooh. Now I'm just going to see if that's cut through alright. Now a good way of doing that is just lifting the plates. Oops. Just knocked everything on the floor. Lifting the plates and just looking through the other side, and then you don't lose your cuts. And you can see that's cut through just fine. So we're just going to take that off like so. Just pop those through. And I'm just going to put those on the table, and then I'm going to move my Sizzix machine out the way. So that piece of paper that I tested on and I just changed my mind to use has ended up being quite handy. Oh, that looks so nice. Didn't that come out well? Okay, now I'm really liking this one because it's really showing the colour, and I like this one because that's going off to that way, but I'm just thinking these two might still be better because of the angles. But then maybe he could go up the middle. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to have to lift these flowers, which is slightly annoying. I keep doing this on this card, don't I? Ending up, so hopefully, and then I'm going to put some of my glue gel, if I can find it. I've never had such a messy craft station. So I'm just going to put some glue gel down there like that, and then I'm going to stick my little leaves into the glue like so. Looks better. Okay, now because we've used some of that glue and we've covered it with the little leaves, I'm gonna just take that and put a bit more glue gel in position, and then I'm going to take these flowers and put those back. twist it. There we go. So I think that just looks really nice. It just finishes that off there. And then the last thing I want to do is just add some gems into the centre of our flowers here, because I think that will just give it a nice finish to the centre. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit of glue gel into the centre here. And then I'm using the Aurora Borealis ones here. And just dropping them down into the glue gel. I want to use the glue gel because it just holds it in position nice and firm. And you can't push them down because they've got glue underneath, so if you push them down it will ruin what's underneath. So that's those in the centre there. Just to finish off, I want to put a couple of the gems in each of the corners. So I'm just going to use these lovely goldy ones, like that. And they're so pretty. Now I can just use the adhesive on the back of the gems for this because they're going in the corners and I can just push them down nice and easy because there's no glue gel under those corners. If I'd have pushed them down on the flowers, they'd have squidged all the glue gel everywhere. That looks pretty. Okay, so here is our finished card, and I think that looks just so pretty. I love this collection, and I think that's what's really contributed to the look of this card, because it looks so nice, and I love this die in the corner. I think this just added a really subtle effect. In fact, I'm just really pleased with the whole thing. At the moment the inside is plain. I will do something with that because that's just boring, but we will add something to that. But at the moment I can't do that because it's just too wet on the outside and everything will get moved. But I'll just put some cardstock inside from the pad, I think, and just layer a couple of layers up to make it look pretty, and I will show you some photos of that on the corresponding blog post, so you'll be able to see exactly how that finishes up on the inside as well. But in the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed making this card with me. I hope you like the finished result. I have to say I'm really pleased with it. It's not my natural comfort zone to make this style of card, but I have to say I'm enjoying it, and I probably will make some more cards like that, although I think I need gloves because I don't like getting dirty hands from the paint. But anyway, but I hope you like it, and I'd love to hear your comments, and if you like it, please share, like, subscribe, all the usual suspects. And most importantly, I'd love to see you on my website, which is www.lollilulucrafts.com. So I'd love to see you there. Alright, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.